Now, today you had an exciting day. I read somewhere Mike Lawler and the Energy Secretary came. You want to talk to us about that a little bit?
So there was a press conference, and the Energy Secretary, Chris Wright, very, very interesting man. It was great to talk to him and his thoughts on different things, but we did a tour of Indian Point, and then we sat down and we talked. And so what was done today is he came to view the plant to see, to have a discussion on restarting Unit 2 and Unit 3. It is a potential that it can happen. It's not, they haven't decommissioned it far enough so they can use some of the things. But what they're doing, if that does happen, they're going to basically retool the plant. So if there's political will, because you know there's several politicians that do not want to see that happen. You know, the governor, of course, is one. You have Ken Jenkins is another person. So they're not interested in that. I'm not sure, you know, there's a lot of other people that are interested. Like, I'm very interested in putting nuclear back on that property. It's just a common sense thing. We have an issue in this country with energy. You're seeing the rising energy costs now. So we have an issue, and Buchanan could solve that problem. And it's common sense because across the street is the, I call them transmission lines, but it's a switch yard. So if you put power back on that property, it's so easy to reconnect across the street to where all the infrastructure is.
I'm twofold on it. I don't live down there, but I'm in the surrounding area of the nuclear plant. I don't know much about it. I know my Con Edison bill is horrible.
Yeah, you feel for people. I mean, it's crazy.
And tax base, what will that do for you if they reopen this?
When we lost Indian Point, the final plant, Unit 3, closed April 30th of 2021. So we're almost 5 years already since the plant is closed. We lost half of our revenue. So it was a major hit to us. Job-wise, there were about 1,000 people that worked over there. Good, hardworking people, skilled.
So that would bring those jobs back.
Yes.
For most of them.
Yes. Yeah, most of them. I don't have the exact numbers.
Would they recommission it? Would it be a more safer? You know, people have cancer scares. This is, you know what? That takes a lot.
I looked at, there was a report that came out, and the top 50 cancerous counties in the New York State, and we were not one of them. So I know I've heard different reports. I'd actually like to see, I don't know if they've done the studies on it, but I'd actually like to see that, because you hear different things. It's hearsay. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see the proof that plant, you know, potentially caused cancer in the community.
Well, I know plenty that work there, and they're cancer-free, unlike myself, but I understand that. Let's talk a little bit about your running mates. Well, Tanya is an Ossining girl, so
yes,
she got my vote. She's
originally from
Ossining. Even though I don't live there, I support her. I watch her Facebook postings on some things. I don't agree with everybody on everything.
Sure.
I agree with her. She loves Buchanan.
Yes,
she's an Ossining girl, so she's a diehard. That comes with the big O.
Yeah, and she's very active in the community. She's been involved in the beautification committee for many, many years.
Okay.
And it's a great organization we have. They're all volunteers, and they do beautiful work in the village, especially at the Circle. I don't know if you've been into the village lately, but
I have not.
They do everything in the Circle, and they do a phenomenal job. They work hard.
And
Chapelone. Jody Boyle Chapelone.
So she's of the earth from Buchanan. Starting from the beginning.
She's 6th generation. Her dad is currently the historian, so he brings a lot of knowledge from the good old days in Buchanan. And she ran because she was concerned of what was going on in the village with all the massive development. You know, she didn't want to see that. We all agree that we don't want to see massive development and that we lose the village. We don't want to be a city. We want to keep the character of the village.
And keep it walkable, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
You know. So your board now is calling for change, but they're in control. So what change are they looking for?
I'm not sure, because I have not been in control for the last 4 years. So I will tell you who the board members are. Anthony Capicati has been on the board for 5 years. Dan Stewart, who's running against me, has been on the board for 4 years. Steve Laker's on the board. He's been 3 years. And then Awilda has been 2 years. So I'm not sure what change they're talking about, because combined years, they have 14 years. So whatever they wanted to do, they should have done. They've had complete control. I had no control, believe me. So if they wanted change, the change should have happened while they were on the board.
I'm concerned. You say that you had no control. Do you believe that these two that running mates you have, you girls can get it together?
Yeah, I think so. I think so, because you know what?
Because I'm shocked at Awilda. I really, really am.
Yeah.
It's kind of painful to watch her.
But if you see this, you see over here, this is the most important thing I tell people when they run. You don't have to know everything. Like if you're a new person and you're running,
well, exactly.
You don't have to know. You don't know because you learn. You go to trainings. There's different state trainings. There's online. There's so much training, and you learn on the job. Like I said, one thing I can't teach you is you got to have it here. You've got to have it in your heart that you want to support the community and work hard and do what's best for the community.
Well, I know you got that with Noor.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. And Jody too. I mean, she's a lifelong.
I don't know Jody. I don't follow, but
yeah.
She's lifelong, so I can imagine that she does. But
yes.
Tanya Noor, I follow her.
Mm-hmm.
And did not know she was running way before she was running. And I was glad to see that she was on your ticket, because you got a good one there. I think you ladies can bring just what Buchanan needs.
I think so too. I think we have what it takes.
I think this go around, you've got your pick. You got a large fight against you with this Indian Point.
We do, but I will tell you this. Congressman Lawler was, held this today, and it was about Indian Point, about possibly retooling Unit 2 and 3, but he also introduced legislation, or reintroduced it. It was called the Stranded Act. I've just received the legislation, so I haven't had time to review it, but it will help the communities that have stranded nuclear waste. We have approximately 127 of the big casks stored on the property. So going back, the DOE promised throughout the country, any nuclear power plants, that they would not store it on site. The problem is, at this current time, there is no place to put this. So what they do with the nuclear power plants, every 2 years, the nuclear power plants will sue the Department of Energy to get back their expenses, whether it's security, whatever it is, they will get. So I thought, I've been working with other communities, of course, throughout the country that have the spent fuel stored on site. And we all have the same problem. If that stays there, it's going to hurt our possibilities for economic development, because where the spent fuel casks are, there is a buffer zone that has to happen. So originally we were hoping Holtec would release the north 60 acres, but there's going to be a significant buffer zone, so that cuts it down. So they are working on another property. Holtec is working on another property to the south. They're cleaning it and doing whatever they need to do so that the NRC gives them permission to release it. So that's the first property that they'll release. Yeah, it's the legislation is important. And like I said, I've been working with a lot of other nuclear communities, and what it kind of allows us to do, or will allow us to do when it's passed, but there's a lot of work ahead. I mean, just because you submit legislation, there's work that has to go into it. We have to get some of the other communities behind this that are affected by it. So the Department of Energy has promised that it wouldn't be stored on the site. So we have basically a de facto storage facility that the federal government is leaving that there. So what we're looking to do with this legislation is tell them, hey, you know what, we need to be compensated for that spent fuel that's there. We never agreed to have it as a permanent storage there. So that's the basis of that. There's more to his legislation. He put more into that, but I'd like to sit down over the weekend and really review it. And, there's some economic pieces to it also.
How do your opponents feel about this?
With the Stranded Act?
Yeah.
Oh, with the reopening, I would say most of them are for it. One of them had said to me, well, how do you know people want it?
Well, that's my next question. Will you be talking to the villagers? Will you be making this decision without your village people?
No. I think we need to. I think we need to
Open
have.
up and talk
yeah,
to them, and
we
then
need to have a talk.
public hearing on it.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's see where
But-
everybody's at.
Oh yeah, oh absolutely. But most people I've talked to and through the village, I will tell you 9 times out of 10, when are we opening up the power plant again? That's the feedback I'm getting. So, but we could do surveys, we can have public hearings. There's different things to get the feedback of the public, what they really want to do, and that's
I'm
that's
talking
another
about the
thing.
people that live there. I'm not talking
yeah,
about
yeah.
people from
Oh, no, no.
Schenectady that come down here and tell Buchanan how they should live.
Yes,
I'm not
yes.
for all of that.
Yeah, but I represent the people in the village of Buchanan, so
Right.
I want to know what their thoughts are.
Yes.
And that's important because
Yes.
this is who you represent. And I might be pro-nuclear, but maybe say I'll just throw a number out. Maybe 80% of the people aren't. Well, then I can't support that
Right.
because it's not about me.
I
It's
like
about
that.
what the residents want.
That's exactly. At the last meeting, I saw Capicotti coming after you about some type of development. Can you talk to me about that? What is that about?
There's a development that's almost finished. It's behind the hardware store in Buchanan. It's a 5-story building. And when this all came about, we were told by our administrator that, we were losing money through the cessation fund. The cessation fund is a 7-year program that the state has, and it's basically a bridge when energy plants close. The state gives you like a certain percentage to help bridge to the loss. So going back, I don't forget how many years ago, it's got to be 3 years ago, this developer came in, proposed 149 units. I was and I keep getting attacked on this, but the developer came in and he wanted 5 stories, but the code said 3 stories for that building. So my reaction was, okay, the code is 3 stories, got to go. The board wanted this project so bad that they said, okay, 5 stories. So we changed the code at that point to 5 stories, which then brought it up to 149 units. Everything that this developer has asked for, and it doesn't matter what it was, the board said, okay, whatever they wanted. There was never any pushback on the developer. So you'll see on our thing here, it says smart development. So smart development, instead of a developer coming in and saying, I want this, this, and this, there's got to be some pushback. There's got to be a benefit to the village other than money. So we put in encourage smart development that fits the character of the village. So we have no 5-story buildings in the village, but now we do. And it's right behind the hardware store. And led by the residents, not developers. So what we meant by that is, for example, how the developer came in and had all those asked, and they were given whatever ask they want. Not only that, one of the other things in the code is about putting a commercial component to the piece of the property. And as we see now, there's no space for any type of a commercial on there because it's all parking. But the latest gossip is that the hardware store might be potentially selling to this developer. But the problem is, the reason why they want to do that, my understanding, is that they need more parking space there.
Wow.
So development, we have on Albany Post Road, there's 200 units that will be there now. So that's a potential of 400 more people. There is other development that has been proposed, but it's quiet right now. They came in last year, I think September, October. One of the things is coming into the village as you're coming in from Peekskill under the railroad bridge. On the right-hand side, there's rocks. There's big rocks. It's about an acre there. The village owns that property. There's a developer that is very interested in blasting that rock out there and putting in 10 townhouses. Then if you go by Lentz Cove, across the street from Lentz Cove, there's another proposed project of, 240, 250 units. So what I want people to think about, be very careful, okay? I am not against development. I'm against development that fits with the village and doesn't hurt the village. So if you do that other development over there, you're looking at 1,000 new people here in the village of Buchanan.
Wow.
We have about 2,400 people right now, so 1,000 more people. You have to understand that there's a tipping point for your services. So if you add 1,000 people, what does that look like? How does that affect your fire department, your ambulance, and most importantly, your police department? So each cop is about $200,000. So you're not going to just put on one cop. You're going to need a cop on each shift. So there's 600,000 there. So how are you ahead when you're doing this development? So I think it's important that it's okay to do development. I've been called stuck in the mud. So if I'm stuck in the mud because I want to do the right thing for the village and I don't want to hurt the character of it and I don't want to cause problems, then okay, then I'm stuck in the mud. But the additional 1,000 people, you're not going to be ahead. You're not, whatever that tax is over there, it could be 300, 350,000. So you really, that's smart development, looking at the whole picture. How does this, affect the village? What is happening? So.
What is the
I'm just
village?
saying.
2 miles?
1.3 square miles.
And you've got your own police department.
Mm-hmm.
I spoke to someone from Buchanan that lives out there, and they mentioned that they're 2 miles, and they have their own police department, and they're wondering why.
Our services are phenomenal, and the people really like having their own police department.
Okay.
And they're more of a community police department.
How many officers?
We have 5, and the
Okay.
chief. Yeah.
Okay.
So we like our services. We've been spoiled. We've been spoiled over the years. We have the highway department. We have our own sewer treatment plant. Speaking of the sewer treatment plant, one of the reasons I'd like to stay one last term is I have worked on many years to get the upgrades to the sewer treatment plant. There's been grants that have been gotten. We had to make an agreement with the town over getting the Entergy community money. And we are at the end of that finally. And this started before the previous board was there. So it's been a process getting there, and we're going to be breaking ground this summer this year. And
Okay.
I'd really like to see that to the
Congrats.
end. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I'm hoping that you're there for it.
Thank you. Appreciate
Okay?
it.
And I'm hoping that your team, I'm excited. I'm excited, especially with Nora on your team.
Yeah.
I'm really, really excited.
And then I'm working on some other things too. That so we talked about the Stranded Act. I've been working with Congressman Lawler and others on that. And then another thing is there's something called the Cessation Fund, and we are running out. In the next couple of years, we will no longer have that money. So what the school is doing, the town is doing, we're going to work together, and we're going to see if we can get that extended, that cessation fund. So it gives us a little more time to figure out, what our next steps are.
Well, I'm hoping that you'll have the next, 2 years?
2 years,
2
yep.
years.
I have some things I'd like to finish up. I've worked hardly. I've gone to all kinds of meetings. I go up to Albany.
I follow you.
Yeah, I go up to Albany.
That's why I asked you to come in.
I go
wanted
to New
speak
York
with you.
Conference of Mayor meetings. I go to the Decommissioning Oversight Board meetings that the board members don't come to, which is important. That property, that Indian Point property, is critical for our future. So you have to stay on top of that. And the last Decommissioning Oversight Board meeting, I had, I won't say her name, but she's an elected official, and she spoke up and said, well, I don't want to see this over there. I don't want to see data centers. I don't want to see this, this, this. And I sat there, I'm like, what are we doing? Like, this has happened before. I have fought for the village every year I've been on here. I have seen people telling us what to do. I've seen people say, oh, no, the anti-nuclear people. They want all solar panels all over the property. And I said, absolutely not. Absolutely. We have not been able to use that property for 60 years. We'd like to have some parcels that we can have access to the river again. There were other things. It's always a fight. It's just people, So for years, that's what I've done. I've fought for the village.
Well, you've been in for it.
Yes.
And
I will always defend the village.
And that's what it's all about.
Yep. And one of the other things is I wanted to mention, I'm hearing over and over and over again transparency. Okay. since the board does not speak to me, what I do is if something's going on or I've done something, I bring it to the board at a board meeting. So not only does the board be aware of what's going on, and the village knows, everybody knows at the same time. But you know what I find quite interesting with transparency is that it doesn't work both ways. There's a couple instances, and this is just recently over the Christmas time. Suddenly on the St. Christopher's lawn, we had a huge sign, a huge Town of Cortland sign. It was gigantic, huge sign. So I called up the supervisor. I go, what's going on with that sign on our lawn? And he said, oh, the church approved it. I'm like, but it's on village property. So I went back and forth with him. And at the Christmas tree lighting, he polled the board, which is fine, he can do that. And the board made a decision, 4 of them made a decision that, oh no, it's fine, it's okay.
A Town of Cortland sign on the Village of Buchanan property.
Yeah, which is, it's okay, but there's a way to do it, you know? So that wasn't too transparent. That wasn't too transparent. And one of the other things that happened was friends of theirs were having something filmed at their house. This person went to each one of them and asked if the fee, because we have a fee when a filming company comes in, if that fee could be waived. And each one of them said yes. Not at a board meeting, but
individually.
And I had a fit. I said,
as you should have.
Absolutely not. If that's going to happen, it's going to be discussed at a board meeting, not like that. No way.
Okay, so speaking
of you know, it's kind of interesting. There's transparency.
Speaking of transparency, Marcus Serrano, good old Marcus.
Yeah, you know Marcus, right?
Do I? We can talk about Marcus another time. What is his story? Marcus is running around telling everybody if you get reelected that you're going to fire him, or he's going to quit because you're going to fire him. What's all of that about?
You know what? I don't know. Honestly, I have not said that. I have not had a conversation with someone about that. I don't know if it's being used for political reasons, for people to feel sorry so that they don't vote for me.
Feel sorry for Marcus?
To feel, yeah, I don't understand. You know what,
folks don't feel sorry for Marcus. Trust me.
I'm going to get this out there. I do not speak to Marcus directly. We do communicate. I do text, and I do email him. So this will come out eventually. Because there was a situation last year, and he was off, and I went by his office, and I hear voices. So in that, I heard, oh yeah, you know, Theresa, she's this, she's that, and even Lisa, and I won't say the last name, can't stand her anymore. So, you know, I'm standing at the door, and I said, you know, I could stand here and walk away, or I can just go in. So I open the door, I go, Marcus, please stop. You're on village time, you're bad-mouthing the mayor. Just stop, please. So I shut the door. He goes running into the office. Oh my God, she threatened me, she cursed at me, she's screaming at me. And little did he know, there was someone to the right outside in the hallway there. We have a little alcove that heard everything.
Wow. Well,
and you know what? I don't want to fight with anybody. You know what? There's too much fighting going on. But just so everyone knows, that's the reason. I'm not going to get into a confrontation with someone and something be misconstrued. So it's just better we communicate that way.
Okay. Well, like I said, I want to wish you all the luck.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I have more work to do.
I'm hoping that the villagers do you like they did you the last time and understand what's going on and see what's going on. I'm going to ask you to talk to them. Don't do what some other municipalities do and do behind closed door stuff.
No, I don't.
Like you do, put it out there. Your board members, obviously, like I said, have TDS. It's unfortunate.
That's a new term for us, yes.
Yeah. Theresa derangement syndrome. So let's make clear that that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that the villagers see and feel the impact that you've had on them. And I want to encourage them that I think these 2 women with you are fantastic, especially the Noor young lady. She's an Austin girl. I can't.
There you go.
You know, she's Buchanan. I'm Austin, but I love Peekskill. But this is going to be wonderful.
And but you know what I have to say, I have a lot of respect for them with what's going
As
on,
I do.
and with how I'm treated on the board, and also residents. I have a lot of respect for them that they stepped up for the village, even though they knew what would come. That they stepped up, they wanted to help the village, and they wanted to do good things
Well,
for the
I think
village.
that's wonderful. I think you have a fantastic team.
Yeah,
and I
they are
wish you
great.
Nothing but luck.
Thank you.
Anything else you want to share with your villagers while we're here?
What I want to say is, this is a very, very simple election, I think. Okay? It's if you want more massive development, if you want the behavior to continue that's going on, then my opponents are the people you want to vote for. If you want to see smart development, if you want to see thinking out of the box to get more revenue, if you want to see a new playground, if you want to see positive things, then we're the team for you. I think it's just quite simple. But please come out and support my team, support me. I'd like to finish some of the work that I've started. And you know what else I'd like to do? I would also like to share my extensive knowledge with someone that's willing to learn. I'd like to share my knowledge, my experience. The experience I have with Indian Point and the closure and everything, it's invaluable. And I'm hoping to get back in, and I'd like to share that information. This is the last time I'm running because I want to clean up those few things that I have been working on and see it to the end.
Well, you just teach it to that Noor girl and she'll get it done. Thank you for
All right,
coming in.
thank you
Hopefully
so much.
after you win the election,
Thank
I'll
you,
have
Lee.
all three of you ladies in.
Oh, that'll be great.
I
Thank you so much,
appreciate
Lee.
it. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
All right.
Yes.